All right, so here we go. I'm asking you to take an equation and write it in standard form. So let's start with the equation. And the equation I give you is 2y is equal to 4x minus 10. Okay, so there's, let me move it over. So there's my equation. The first thing we're supposed to know is we're supposed to know what is standard form. Okay, so if you looked it up in your notebook, that's okay. This is something that you're going to have to study. Standard form of an equation, once again to review, standard form is writing the equation this way. ax plus by equals c. Remember that? And what's special about a, b, and c? They have to be what? A, b, and c need to be integers. So you're talking about whole numbers and their negatives. Okay? You can't have fractions, you can't have decimals. So what is wrong with the way this equation is written right now that does not make it in standard form? Good. X and y aren't on the same side. We have to get them on the same side. We're still having a problem getting this done. Okay? We're still having a problem on trying to get x and y together. Here's the thing that I want you to remember. Think, listen, watch, because this will help you. Remember, the equal sign is a wall. If you have to drag something across the equal sign, it changes signs. That's all. So really, what I want to do is I want to take this. I don't have to multiply. I don't have to divide by anything. I'm not trying to get x or y by itself right now. I just want to get this 4x term over here. So I'm going to pick it up right from this side, and I'm going to move it to this side. Over here, it's a positive number. When I move it over here, what's it become? A negative number. That might be easier for you to think about. A lot of you guys are getting messed up with how do I get it from here to here. The algebraic way is, well, it's a positive 4x, so I'm going to subtract 4x. Well, what I do to this side, I got to jump to this side and subtract 4x. And then you wind up getting 2y minus 4x. But you can also do the same thing by just lifting it up, imagining you're lifting it up. It crosses the equal sign and changes signs. So if that's the case, okay, I'm going to pick that 4x up. I'm going to move it to the other side. I get 2y minus 4x is equal to negative 10 because it changes signs when it moves across to the other side. Is that in standard form? Yes, it is. I mean, you don't have to have the x come first, the y come second. As long as they're on the same side of the equal sign, you're good. Okay? Any questions on that? All right, let's move on to part B. So part B now, part B wants us to take that same equation now and write it in slope-intercept form. So let's review that for a second. Slope-intercept form. That means we want it this way. Y equals mx plus b. That's your slope-intercept form. If you don't know that, you have to study that, guys. Okay? What is the m in the question? What do we call the m? Good. Good. And what is the b? Yep. Y-intercept. Okay, good. So we have that vocabulary down, which is important. All right, so once we get that, then we're going to be able to graph it using that. All right, so let's figure out how I can get this equation now. So here it is, 2y equals 4x minus 10. What I need to do is I need to get this variable, y, by itself. Okay? If I want to get y by itself, y basically is almost by itself as it is here, isn't it? What's the only problem with it? There's a 2 in front of it. What's that 2 doing to it, James? Okay, but what's the operation happening? It's multiplying. So how do I undo multiplication? I divide. So if I want to get rid of that 2 away from the y, Anna, right? We're going to divide. So I'm going to take and divide this side by 2. And then I'm going to take and divide each of these pieces over here by 2. That's that process. Okay? Now, when I do that, these two 2's cancel, and I get y equals, what's 4 divided by 2? 2. So I get 2 times x minus, what's 10 divided by 2? 5. There's the equation in slope-intercept form. Any questions on that? All right, so now we're going to move on to the other question. The other question says, part C, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? So now I'm on part C. So I'm asking you to tell me what is my M and what is my B going to be? All right, so if I have an equation in y equals, or if I have an equation in what's called slope-intercept form, where is the M in that equation? In front of what? Where's the M? Come on. In front of x. All right? So the number in front of x is my slope, and my y-intercept is going to be that constant that's kind of left over. So take a look at the equation we have. That's in a box. What's the number in front of x? Just the number in front of x. 2. So M is going to be 2. I'm going to write it as 2 over 1 because I'm going to use it to graph. But you can write 2 down. That's fine. My y-intercept is my B. What's that number going to be? -5. We okay? Now the next question, part 4, says to go ahead and graph. Oops. It's saying to go ahead and graph the equation y equals 2x minus 5, because that's the equation we got in slope-intercept form. In the previous question, or in the previous, part C, we found out the slope was 2 over 1, and the y-intercept was a -5. And I'm asking you to graph the equation of the line using those two pieces. I'm getting good at this. All right, so if I want to use those two pieces, do you remember where do we start? Perfect. And so what am I going to do? -5 in the y-axis. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my dot. That's where the line is going to cross the y-axis. That's the definition of a y-intercept. It's where the line intercepts the y-axis. From there, what do we do? Good. Go back up to your slope. Your y is your change in the top, and your x is your change in the bottom. Both changes are positive. So, your change in your x direction, if we look at this, your change in your x direction is going to be a +1, and then your change in your y direction is going to be a +2. So it's from that point. So here I am. There's the point. I'm going to go +1 and then +2. There's another point on the line. And then from that point, I'm going to do the same thing. +1, +2, +1, +2, +1, +2. So your line is going to look like that. And the last thing I'm going to want you to do when you graph a line, what do you think I'm going to ask you to do? Label it. Go back up to here. Y equals 2x minus 5. Every single point on that line is a solution, an xy solution to that equation. That's what we've been graphing. How are we doing? Yep.
Will it matter if you ever do y first when you go to y1?
Nope. If I started at my y-intercept, so I'm starting here, if I decided to go up 2 and over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, doesn't matter. Okay? Any other questions? As long as you know the top is your change in your y and the bottom is your change in the x, we're good. And x is horizontal and y is vertical. Right, Julian? We good? All right, the next piece I asked you to do is going to be finding the slope of 2 points. So I give you the 2 points. Where am I? Right here. The 2 points are 4, 2 and 5, 4. And I tell you that these 2 points lie in the same line, and I want you to find the slope of the line that contains those 2 points. So I'm going to start with a slope formula. Now this formula I'm not giving you tomorrow. You need to have this memorized. All right? So here's your slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Don't ask us tomorrow, is y on top, is x on top? Okay, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You need to study that. Okay? All right, so once we know that, then you have a choice. You can either start plugging numbers in or you can label these numbers. Remember, the 2's and the 1's just refer to the points. This is my second point, so this is my x2 and my y2. If that helps, you can do that. This is my first point, so this is my x1 and my y1. And then if you have that labeled, you can just bring that down into your formula. So here we go. M equals my y2, which is going to be my 4, minus my y1, which is going to be 2, divided by my x2, which is going to be 5, minus my x1, which is going to be 4. 4 minus 2? 5 minus 4? 1. So my slope is 2 over 1 or 2. Questions on that? Kira, what is the equation of my line? What's the formula for the, what's the slope-intercept formula for the equation of my line? The slope-intercept formula for the equation of any line. The general, that general formula. It has an m and a b in it. Y equals mx plus b. Hey, guys, eventually we're going to have to not only find, this is what we found out. We know that this point and this point lie in the same line. The first question I asked you was to find the slope of that line. So what we simply did was we found this part of the equation. What's the only other part that we need to find to be able to actually know the true line that those 2 points fall on? B. And you're going to be asked, not now, I'm going to show you now, but you're not going to be required to do this tomorrow, but you're going to be asked soon to actually generate the equation of a line that contains those 2 points. So the first thing we would do is we'd do this piece, find the slope. The second thing we would do is we'd plug the slope in. So if I plug the slope into the equation, I'm going to get this. Y equals 2x plus b. Right? Isn't the slope of that line 2? Layla, you got it? It's 2. All right, now we have to find b. Well, the way you go ahead and find b is you go back to use one of these points. Let's use 4, 2. The 4 in that point refers to which? Guys, the 4 in the point refers to which variable? X or Y? The 4 in the first point. X. The 2 refers to what? The Y. So if I want to, I'm going to use the point 4, 2, and watch what happens. When I let x equal 4 and I let y equal 2, I get 2 is equal to 2 times 4 plus b. Once I plug the 2 and the 4 in, can I solve for b now? Sure, there's one variable that's left. So if I solve for b, watch what I get. 2 equals 4 times 2? 8 plus b. And how do I get b by itself if I'm adding 8 to it? Subtract 8. If I subtract 8, what is 2 minus 8? Negative 6. Okay, let me bring this down, up, whatever you see. So I get negative 6. Good. So now, remember, here's the equation. Kira gave us the equation. Y equals mx plus b. Do I know my m now? Do I know my m? Yes. Do I know my b? Plug them in. Y equals, my m is 2, x, and my b is a negative 6. There's the equation of the line. And it's the equation of the line that contains the points 4, 2 and 5, 4. How can I test that? If you were asked to test, if you were asked to determine if 4, 2 was on that line, what would you do?
Tell me what you got.
Good. Plug them in. And if it makes the line true, if it makes the equation true, it must be on that line. So if I plug them in, let's check it out. X is 4 and y is 2. Well, is 2 equal to 2 times 4 minus 6? What's 2 times 4? 8. What's 8 minus 6? Works. It's on the line. Let's try 5, 4. Y is equal to, let x be 5, not y is equal to, 4 is equal to 2 times 5 minus 6. What's 2 times 5? What's 10 minus 6? Okay? So those 2 points satisfy the line, which means it's on the line. And what did we start with? We started with 2 points. And we went from 2 points and we created and found the line. Now, we know there's infinitely many points that lie in this line. But we were able to generate that equation just from 2 points. Okay, so that's what's important about finding that slope and understanding what that y-intercept is. Any questions on that? Okay. Take out that homework assignment that you had last night from the packets and check your work with what I have. And then part of your homework assignment tonight is down here. It says from the same sheet from page 27, I want you to take a look and do some of the odd questions. 3, 7, 11, I'm not going to make you do as many. All right? But what I want you to do is I have the even numbers done, worked out with a box around it. Check your answers with that. I'll give you a minute or two to do that. I want you guys to ask questions if you don't understand how I generated an answer that might be different from yours. And then tonight's assignment is to do a few of those odd ones around the ones I gave you yesterday. That might have been my problem. I really like this a lot. Especially if I can call this back now. So let's see, it's still recording. See the blank? See the? Yeah. That's the area it's recording. So now if I just hit pause, I guess. Yeah. So now what? It's someplace. Yeah. But where would it be?
I don't know.
Right. And how do I?
That's going to be.
How can I retrieve that? So it says archive. So this is yesterday's, and I don't know how it got there. See, if I click on that, it comes up and it. So I don't know if that means I'm about to get started, and then I get 5 seconds, and then it stops, and then I did a whole video after that.
Okay, so here I'm gonna go cancel this. I want to create a new. So right click for me.
I have nothing.
Do anything? Okay.
I wonder if it's under video, if it says where the file is being stored at.
Go to library.
It's another place.
Look here. Click on like notifications.
Okay. If I right click, I can't right click. Nope.
Okay, now let's open. What does that say? Slingshot?
Yeah.
Hit that button. Okay, see, it seems like it's stuck inside here. So I click articles now.
Yeah, see, you have this. This is still blinking, which means I'm still recording. That's the piece when you say you're recording, you bring it. So it. And I'm recording again.
Okay.
If I pause it.
What do you do? Like stop.
But where's the stop button?
Oh, just see, that's the stop.
Oh.